everybody, this is Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead. Today is Good Friday, March 25th, 2016. I know I didn't have a video up yesterday, and I know I didn't have a video up today, and I haven't been on the computer. I've been dealing with periwinkle. Periwinkle is turning out to be a pain in my patoot. Okay, she's really, folks. This is one of the things that we're going to talk about today, is about another downside of being a homesteader. There's a lot of people out there that get the romantic issue, like myself in the beginning, that once I know what I'm doing, it'll all just be a smooth, happy Disney song of us, going to and from the barn with fresh eggs and fresh milk and happy animals and butterflies and flowers. It's not like that. It is a constant battle. It's the same battles you go through on a farm, just on a smaller scale. You still go. It's people say, why do kids' jeans cost as much as adult jeans? They're so much smaller. Well, because the fabric isn't the only cost involved with making those little cute little tiny jeans. They still have all the same buttons, all the same seams, all the same zippers. All the same amount of work goes into them, just the fabric's less. That's kind of like what a homestead is compared to a farm. So, an update. Buddy's doing really, really well. We're gonna castrate him today, and I'll do a video on that. I've done it before, but I'll do a video on it. I lost one of my silver lace Wyandotte chicks. Everybody's been asking. None of my eggs were fertile, and I think it's because I have a really docile rooster and I have really balls to the walls tough chickens. And until it's warm enough and dry enough outside that they can actually go outside, he's not going to approach the girls, because he has approached the girls and they've ganged up on him. So until he has some room to strut and show his stuff, they're not letting him anywhere near them. So none of those eggs were fertile. I lost one of my silver lace Wyandottes. He just failed to thrive and nothing worked. I almost lost one of my little blue Cochins. I have 3 blue Cochin bantams. One's black and 2 are gray. And this is a problem that, people might not even notice. But it can be, you can lose your chicks. And when you've gone through the trouble of paying for the eggs and then paying for the hatching, like the energy to hatch them and all the time you put into them, making sure they're candling and sorting through them and humidities and all that stuff, you don't want to lose a chick at all. But there's a thing called sticky bottom, and I don't know if it's the same as what I went through with one of my little blue Cochins, but it's something you should watch out for. I noticed one of my little blue Cochin bantam chicks had a wad of dried poop stuck to his bum. Now, if you're not careful, that poop will dry, and they will continue to poop, and it'll just build up and make a huge plug, and then their poop will back up in their system, and they'll die. So, I've seen people like soak their bottom in warm water and just kind of pull it off. You don't want to do that, because the down around their butt is the problem, which is catching the poop. It's making it stick to it. So what I do, and it sounds cruel, but it saves their life, is I pick up that chick and I kind of like a bikini wax, and I go and I rip it right off, and that rips off the down around their bum. And yes, it hurts for a second, but the relief they have afterwards is amazing. They just like, oh, I can poop again, and the down is gone around their butt. So, being gentle on something like that is not necessarily a good thing. I don't want you to overly hurt them, but you want to hold them gently and give a good quick, kind of like a Band-Aid or a bikini wax. So there's that. Buddy's doing so good. He's drinking like 20 ounces every 6 hours. So he'll soon be ready for the barn when we get the barn organized. This weather, this wet weather is, rain and freezing rain and snow, and then, stuff melts, and this wet weather there's not much we can do in the barn except give the animals more hay or more straw and shavings bedding so that they can, stay dry. But once that's done, we're redoing the barn, hopefully. Periwinkle has become a real pain in the butt. She has, being a dumb mom, a dopey mom for the first time, and I didn't catch it in time, obviously, she laid on and killed Daisy. And she almost did the same to Buddy. That's why we brought him in the house. Oh, by the way, his milk formula is working really, really well. Even though I ran out of goat's milk and I made it with whole, hi baby. I made it with whole cow's milk. Look at my sewing basket, dear, for a measuring tape. What was I saying, dear?
Goat's milk formula.
Goat's milk formula. Thank you. I ran out of goat's milk and the store didn't have any, so I used whole cow's milk. And no sign of scours at all, no diarrhea. He's thriving. He's doing really, really well. So the trick to acclimatizing that milk to the stomach is the buttermilk. So that's working really, really well. Periwinkle, on the other hand, is being a pain. She has discovered, and whether it was by accident or she didn't like the pressure in her udder and she went to relieve herself of it and discovered she liked the taste of her milk, she's sucking her own teats. That's why I was only getting 4 and 5 ounces a shot, because she was relieving herself. And it has been a nightmare of comical errors from that point on. She, I tried to stop her. I split a t-shirt up the front and I put her legs through the arms and I put the neck hole around her bottom and her bippy, and then I put a harness of bathing suit elastic on her front legs and I tied the t-shirt to it to completely cover her udder. She escaped it, and I mean, she's a Houdini. She really is. She escaped it and laughed at me when I went back in to milk her again. So the next time, I cut one of my bras up and I made her a bra. And I mean, I made a really good bra. And it was a big cup with, you'll see it in the video. And then we had the harness at the front, and then we put her legs through the 2 elastics and we cupped her udder, and then we tied the 2 harnesses together in 2 places. And when I went out to milk her the next day, not only had she gotten to her teat, she had completely undone the entire harness and stepped out of it and walked away and laughed. So the next thing I did was I took a small squat 1-cup mason jar and I filled it with iodine, and after I milked her I dipped her teats in iodine and let it dry, kept her distracted while it dried, to see if the taste would throw her off. Not a chance. So for all those folks who are about to tell me to use the cone of shame, that's not going to work on her unless we turn it around the other way. And I don't, but still, it's too flimsy for her. She's a really strong goat. It's too flimsy for her. So we're going to try and make one that is goat proof. Nothing's goat proof. They're Houdinis. And if that doesn't work, we have one more trick up our sleeve. But my point is, if she's not giving us milk in between giving us babies, she's a hay burner. She's, I paid $150 for this goat, and she's just a nightmare of complications over and over and over again. So we're going to build her a collar, and if that doesn't work, we have one more trick up our sleeve. But you'll see a video of the bra contraption I made, and hopefully of the collar I'm making. And I'll put that all together in one video so you can see what I'm going through. And we'll go from there. But you haven't seen a video in a couple of days? Well, Briar's been sick. Howie and I have had migraines, and we think it's the weather changing, and we've still had to take Briar to and from work. And it's just, we're worn down. We're worn down, and the season is just starting. So I'll keep you posted. But remember, folks, being a homesteader sounds really romantic, but it's a lot of work. And it's the same amount of stuff you have to go through as if you were running a large farm. You're just doing it on a smaller scale. Everything, everything kind of, you still got to milk things. You still got to cut, clean, trim hooves. You still got to castrate baby goats. collect eggs, stop roosters fighting, all these things, stop goats from killing their babies and eating and drinking their own milk. All these things, it's not something that you just get a hold of and then everything runs smoothly from there on. There's always going to be problems and vexation and grief. It's just a matter of learning how to take it in your stride. And if you're not ready to deal with the less romantic side of homesteading, maybe it's not for you. But it's me. I'm being honest, right? It can be a real pain in the butt. Anyway, until my next video, we'll talk at you later. Take care. God bless.